Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a non-bingo rack, but I've got scoring tiles and a couple of vowels, so I will be playing through this. There's nothing massively I want to hang on to. I've got faded and damped on my rack. And if opponent changes, well, faded would get the F doubled. And M and P have some synergy. On the other hand, damped does turn over one more tile and leave just one scoring tile. Wow, always brutal when opponent starts with a bingo, but that's the situation. So, what have I got? I think this rack is too non-bingo-y to have a bingo through any of the floaters. Do I have a double-double in column 5? Gosh, I do have defamed, but it's not a double-double. No, I don't think so. So is defamed the play? That would leave just a P. Putting a vowel next to a double word square, not great. Double B together means that if I play parallel to webbing, I'll have to have both of my vowels together. So I can only play off 4 tiles, such as dead, and keep 3 consonants. I think given that opponent has opened with a bingo, I'd like to keep the board open. So this is what I'm thinking about. I could also play it lower with an A next to this triple letter square. But I think there's little between these options. That looks a lot more bingo-y, but do I have one? Certainly plenty of floaters to consider. Do I have an ing word? I don't think so. I'm not seeing a 7. Pindari if I had an E instead of an A. I've got para as a prefix. So anything with the D. Don't think so. It's the P is slightly non-bingo-y, as is the duplicate A. I've got epi as a prefix. How about the F? Paraffin. Yes, I do have a playable bingo. I think paraffin takes an E at the end, or can be spelt with an E at the end. A doesn't look hopeful. What about the W? No, close to war paint. B. Oh wow, opponent blocks or takes my paraffin spot and scores 62 points. Brutal. Now, let me finish looking at floaters. So I'm working my way along webbing. How about I? No. N. Not seeing anything. G. So I've considered ing. What about AGE ending? Wow, this just looks like a good tile for this rack. Not seeing a bingo through that G. It would be quite high probability. Nothing goes in front of ZE. Well, if I play rap in this spot, I'm keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave. That's not good. Do any of these 2-letter sets give me a bingo? Don't think so. So what am I going to do? What do I want to do? Play off P and A. Can't do that at the top of the board. So I can play Pam, 15 points, leaving a decent rack leave, especially with a floating G, creating a new lane because Pam takes an S in front. Obviously the score is dismal, but the only bad draw is 2 vowels. And I draw 1 vowel and 1 consonant. I have hernial and inhaler. Do either of those play? I don't think so. Do I have a bingo through the G? Not seeing an ing one. I have narghile. Fantastic. I do have a bingo through the G. That has an anagram of nargile, ending EH. And I have hibernal through the B. Great, so that's playing off 2 tiles for a low score. Appears to have paid off. But will opponent block all my lanes? Now, how about AD? Not seeing anything there. Although head would work as a beginning part of a word. ZE doesn't look likely. Okay, so opponent has blocked nargile. Hibernal still available. Pam has blocked hibernal parallel to defamed, so I have to go for the much lower spot. Now, has opponent provided a place for hernial? No. Jar good, but UL not. Or inhaler? No. Now, I note that hairline is good, and that's going to be better than hibernal. Hibernal provides opponents access to the triple word square. Hairline does not. So hairline for 62. Okay, let me try that again. Hairline for 62. And a balanced rack, slightly non-bingo-y, but a scoring tile in the Y. I have toy in column 3. And the J may attract opponent. If I do play toy, then I'm hampering the S hook for Pam, but not removing it entirely. Nice play by opponent, 29 points. Dado is good, so I have Yod. Keeping double T, not a disaster. Let me see what that scores. That's 31. Still 1 blank to come. Not a terrible rack leave. 30 points is always good. I'm not giving terribly much away to opponent. Yeah, I'm minded to do this. Todd is also good, but I'd rather have duplicate T than YT. What else do I have? Nothing great from the H. Hotted is for a lower score. So let me go with Yod. Oh wow, and I draw another T. That's a bit brutal, and no scoring tiles. I can play Toot parallel to Jug. Jug takes an A at the end. Hairline takes an S and only an S. And I trail by a bingo, but opponent's on turn, so I could be closer to 2 bingos behind. However, still 52 tiles in the bag, and there are bingo lanes. Opponent may be drawn to Yod. There are scoring opportunities in the top left, just not massive ones. But if he's only looking to play off 2 tiles, then column 2 could be a fine spot for him. So what do I have apart from Toot? I have Hottie, and I'm minded to prefer that, I think. No, I'm not. The rack leave after Hottie is OT, and after Toot it's EIT. Wow, those are close. Very close rack leaves. How do the scores compare? 19 for Toot, 20 for Hottie. I think Hottie Well, do I? Plenty of I's, plenty of O's to come, so drawbacks to both plays. Any other spots I'm missing? I have booty, down from either B. Very low score. Now, what goes in front of rock? Well, a G does, still 2 G's to come. What about a play in row I? That would require my E to go after or. I'd quite like to hang on to my E because of its bingo-iness. Still, all 4 S's to come. That would be an argument for turning over a lot of tiles. This is an S-friendly board with the hairline hook and, to a lesser extent, the Pam hook. Opponent taking a while with this play. Has he drawn the second blank? Or one of the S's? I don't think tutti is good, ending IE. Great, opponent has played off just a couple of tiles. He could have played that vertically, but hasn't. So, hottie for 20. Wow, and I pick up 5 consonants. And this is pretty non-bingo-y. Is it bad enough to change? Not right now. I have Clint in column 12, getting the C doubled and sorting the rack out for about 20 points. That's about the most I can hope for. I don't have a bingo through I or E. I have con in column 11, but I'd really rather not keep 4 consonants. I would be asking for trouble next turn. So, what if Clint is blocked? I also like the volatility of Clint opening up a lane in row A and column 13. Hottie takes an S, not an R. Webbing takes an S. So where are the floating vowels on the board? Great, just 9 for opponent, and the Clint spot remains available. Butte does take an O, which I'm holding on to. So Clint for 20. Well, non-bingo-y, which is frustrating when you're really looking for a bingo to get back in the game. Was there a spot for the Y? I've thought that I may have mentioned Y earlier as being a useful tile, possibly not. Can I take advantage of the beauty O hook? I don't think so. And nor can I take advantage of the C, and this was the most likely outcome, a low 20 score for opponent, which is fine. So how to sort this rack out? I do want to play off the Y and the R. What else goes after Butte? Just O and S, I think. Clint only takes an S. By is good. Wow, interesting. I do have Illy. 33 points, that's a big score, and duplicate R isn't terrible. R is a good tile. Can I do any better than this? Well, I think I'm going to struggle. 33 is a good score. I'm going with this. And I draw one of the R's, of course, and miss all of the S's and blanks. And this is a grim rack, but look at this. I'm still within 1 bingo's reach of opponent. There is hope. 32 tiles in the bag. So is now is now the time to take advantage of the Beauty-O hook. I have Ardour. Yes, I think that would be the play, leaving OR, turning over 5 tiles, not offering anything massive for opponents. And sorting out all of my duplicates and triplicates, so that is a nice play should it remain available. I also have it in column 13 for a low score and putting an O next to this double letter square, which isn't good. Opponent takes my spot, which is very sad. Fortunately, only scores 12 points. So, I can salvage something. I can play Aura, which again sorts out my duplicates and triplicates. Score is terrible. Rack leave is good. Not giving anything massive away. Creating an S lane, which is good given that I trail. It would be bad if I led. But only 9 points. Is there a better spot for Aura? And what about playing Ardour? Well, the score's going to be similar to Aura. What about getting value from the J? Not going to be able to do that. Yep, I am. What about placing my D under the I? 13 minutes on my clock. No, I'm going with this. Again, I miss the S's. I draw the Q. I've got AD. Are there any I's? Don't think there are. Any U's on the board? 3 have been played. Beauty-O, Jug, and Cube, all unavailable. Any T's for cat? Nope, I blocked that with Illy. Wow. Dreadful, dreadful pick. No G for Grok. Any no M's for Korma. 30 points for opponent. Opponent provides a U. Fantastic. And I can sort out my duplicate A and create a new lane. But look at this. Even better, I think. I have Korma for 72 points. Bang! Am I back in the game? I trail by just 3 points, and this is pretty good. I have Sneamed and Speened. Does either play? No, I don't think it does. I've just, well, Moves blocked the Pam hook. Wow. But I am a lot closer now. Where are the lanes? And I may be able to... Oh, well, Korma's good. I've got Speened in row. Oh. Wow. What a turnaround this could be. So often you go through the motions when you trail by a bingo and you're constantly drawing Drek. But how quickly things can change. Aura was only 9 points, then I've only had one decent play. And I'm back in the game, which is astonishing. I'm really not sure how that happened. No. Clint for 20, Hottie for 20. Rubbish scores. And opponent got 30 for Mauve, so quite bizarre. We'll see later in the analysis. But am I going to get my bingo down? And is there another bingo available on this board? Nothing beginning with O. Oh, wow. Opponent has bingoed, which is bad news, but I've still got my row O bingo. Do I have anything in column 15 through this N? I don't think I do. No, and if I don't have a triple through the N, I think I'm better off playing Speened for 100 points. Fantastic. And I lead by 29. 2 tiles in the bag, and I've drawn both G's for Grok. Interesting, opponent may well empty the bag now. He's not going to bingo, but he could get a big X score. This is going to be close. Wow, 100 points. What a delightful sight. So do I have a bingo with this rack? I've got the less suffix? I don't think I do. I'm really short on vowels. So looking at I and O, I don't think either of them gives me a bingo. I would have, well, slaggers and sluggers through the right vowel, neither available. Oh gosh, 33 points for opponent, that's annoying. He's emptied the bag. He's not going out in 1, and he leads by 4, and there are 12 minutes on my clock. What to do? Well, that was a really nice play by opponent. He's retained scoring potential in the W and the X. And I'm hampered by my lack of vowels. But I've got the last S. So, what if I do grog? Then I have less in row O. Opponent could play Knox. 33. Do I have less elsewhere? Well, I have cells and clints. Let me work this through. So, if I get 12 points, I lead by 8. If opponent plays Knox, 33, I trail by 25. If I play cells and jugs, I get 17. I trail by 8, but I get count back of 20, so I win. I win if opponent plays Knox. Okay, what if he doesn't play Knox? Well, if he doesn't play anything at the bottom, I've got less. 22 points. Now, opponent's got, what's he got? I'm just wondering if he's got anything in column 15, because GI is good. 10 minutes on my clock. I'm not seeing anything great in column 15. No D for Dixie. Is there somewhere else on the board he could play off his X? So, opponent could play Wox and Wad. 31 points. That doesn't win. I hope my maths was correct earlier. What's opponent got at the top? 10 minutes on my clock. I seem to have a lot of time, which is good. Well, opponent doesn't have anything. Axe is good. That can only play once. Chi is good. So opponent could play Tix. Again, just 30 points. I don't think 30 points is enough. Rex is good. So opponent's got Ox. I'm not seeing anywhere for opponent to play Wox for a decent score. Okay, I'm going back to grog, and I'm going with this. Grog for 12. I lead by 8 points. Can I hang on? So the best I've seen is cells for 17. Oh gosh, opponents played Coxer for 39. I trail by 31 points. I get 14 on count back. I need 17 to draw, 18 to win. That's a draw. That's not good enough. Wow. That's a draw. Is there 18 points available on this board? Well, let me check this. 22 points. Not spelt like that. Let me spell the word less correctly. 22 points 424. I trail by 9. I get 14 on countback. This is a winning play. Is it the winningest? I have 11 minutes. I'm not going to labour this, but let me just have a look around and see if I can beat 22. Pam's is good. 14 points. Jugs is good. Already seen that that's not enough. Cells is also good. No, that's... I'm not seeing anything better than this, so less for 22. And the final score, 433 for opponent, 438 for me, a winning margin of 5 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. So exciting to come back from behind when you're dead and buried and then scrape the narrowest of wins. Need it have been so close. Now, fantastic start for opponent with webbing, my rack. And I played Defamed. I also considered Damped. P is better than F, but E is better than not having an E. And there's a 4-point score difference. I think those moves are similar. Fantastic start for opponents. Bingo, followed by a 60-point play. And I trail by 120. Oh, wow. Missed bingo. P-brain. Wow, tricky one to see. Well done if you spotted that. Wow. P and B go so badly together. I think that subliminally influences you not to dwell too long on looking for a bingo. So I play Pam for 15 instead. And opponent gets 27 for jug, so I now trail by 130. However, I have hairline for 62, so the gap narrows. 29 for opponent. Now I have Yod for 31. So I still trail by 70, and I need to keep an eye on how this gap narrows. And a missed bingo for opponent. Von 2's J7 through the E. Tricky word and tricky to spot. Opponent plays Oni. Now I have Hottie for 20, still trail by 60. Opponent paying the price for his missed bingo with W and V. Plays Butte. And I have Clint for 20. So, yeah, I trail by 50. Opponent plays Cube. And now I have Illy for 33. So, yeah, it's just clawing back. It's the gap's now down to 40. And wow, another missed bingo. Look at this. And a ton of them. K3, Malvasi and hairlines. That's pretty hard to see. Vidames and Buttes. Okay, quite tricky. Massive Mavises, Misgave. Well, there are a ton of bingos there, and opponent missed them all. Now I have, Arda and Juga. Not sure about that. It's 19 points, which is 10 more points, but it's setting up, well, an S hook in column 15, and there are so many S's out there, all of them, and a blank. And Aura, yeah, I prefer my play. Now, opponent plays Moves, but missed bingo. Could have played Emusive, K9, beginning above the second R of Aura. Oh, well, and that's it in different spots, so quite a difficult one to see, and if you don't know it, you're not going to get it. But look at this, absolute dream from heaven when you're looking for an M and opponent places one in the perfect position. So now I am back in the game. I trail by just 3. That didn't last long. Fantastic bingo by opponent. But look at this, sneaked and speened for 100. And I lead by 29 points with 2 tiles in the bag. And this is the move which really threw me. I wasn't expecting such a big scoring move while retaining the scoring potential of the X. So now I trail by 4. The bag is empty. I've got only one vowel. Opponent's got the X. Opponent's got vowels. What was the best line? Well, I only scored 12 points, but I retained the E, and the vowel is very important in the end game. So if I'd played A5, oh well, eggs would have stopped opponent playing coxer. Would I have gone out? Would I have gone out with LRS? No, I don't think I would have done. Laws is not good. What about regloss I14? Difficult to know. There may well have been a better line, but the way to play these end games is if you have a line which you think is winning, then sometimes you need to go with that, or you should go with that. And although I didn't consider the coxer possibility, I did consider Knox, which was close to what opponent got. So opponent does play coxer. That looks best for him. And finally, less for 22 wins the game. And there was one other winning play, H11. Oh, of course, I mentioned that webbing took an S, but there were cells and webbings for 21. So those were the 2 winning plays. Unfortunately, I played one of them and eked out a 5-point victory. So absolutely cracking fun, and this really illustrates Scrabble drama at its highest. So many thanks to opponent for a fantastic battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.